On Friday the 13th in the early morning, our radio room was contacted by the water police and asked if we could assist in the rescue of a 17-metre trawler 38 miles southeast of Point Cartwright. A crew was put together and we departed the base around 7:45 and reached the two vessels soon after 10 a.m. This vessel was en route from Cairns to northern New South Wales but had encountered major engine problems.
Starboard side.
A police vessel had gone out and was standing by the stricken trawler to provide communication and await our arrival. Their radio was not working, out of phone range, and now being blown out to sea in the fresh 20 to 25 knots west-southwesterly breeze.
Righto, knock him off.
Coming up.
The tow was uneventful, although sea conditions made for an uncomfortable motion in the beam seas and fresh wind. When we got back into phone range, we were able to talk to the trawler skipper and asked if he had any way to raise the stabiliser arms which were deployed. With no engine power, he said he had no way to raise these heavy arms. We informed him that we could not bring him into the river with the arms out, as this would not only be an acceptable safety risk, but we could not raft alongside in order to manoeuvre him to a berth.
In there tomorrow, and then you want to talk to me, ring me on that number that you've
It was agreed
seen.
that we would take him into the shelter of the bay to anchor, and he could make arrangements to get the stabiliser arms raised the next day, and we would bring him into the river when this was done, and a secure berth could hopefully be found for the vessel.
Romeo, we'll arrange that.
Great work by the crew and our radio communications room and all at QF6 Mooloolaba.
On re-entering the river as evening approached, the fuel levels were just above 50%, so we decided to fill up in case an overnight assist were to happen and to be ready for the coming weekend's training days. On Sunday, the trawler was ready to be towed in from its anchorage. Again, Rod takes up the narrative.
After a day at anchor in the bay, the trawler skipper was able to get some gear together to raise the stabiliser arms and also to retrieve his anchor without the aid of engine or electric power. A berth was arranged on the trawler pier, so we went out the next day to bring them in and complete the job.
Heavy line coming.
All aboard the trawler were pleased and grateful that they were rescued and did not end up on a slow trip to the mid-Pacific Ocean.
Just mind that rope doesn't snag on that anchor.
All's well that ends well, but check your safety gear before you go out, as the unexpected can and does happen. Mooloolaba Coast Guard has had a busy and varied month. Along with the usual calls from various size vessels with engine or other problems, we have towed in a 22-metre trawler of 90 tonnes from 25 miles east of Mooloolaba, and our second longest tow on record to a 19-metre cruiser 140 miles east of Mooloolaba. Following the 140-mile tow, a few days later we were tasked to take a crewman with severe abdominal pains from the ship Al Shanghai around midnight and bring him ashore to a waiting ambulance.
Okay, come on.
For the record, our longest tow, and certainly at the time was the longest tow ever performed by Coast Guard, was to a 20-metre catamaran which we took in tow 185 miles east of Mooloolaba some 15 years ago.